Hello everyone and welcome to a new episode of Open Journal. Today we are going to make the craziest and funniest probably character in Dungeons and Dragons. Dungeons and Dragons, or shorter D&D, is a popular storytelling game basically where you can get into a character, play as one and explore the mass and open world that your DM, a guy who runs the game and basically is a god, has prepared for you. So today I'm going to show you how you can make a character for your own adventure, and I hope this guide is going to be a fun one and I hope you're going to enjoy it. So let's first specify some rules. I'm going to use a 5th edition of D&D rules, so 5th edition from 2014, but basically there are two types of 5th edition, for 2014 and 2024. I'm going to use 2014 not because I'm not used to new rule books, which I am, but because for the older core books there are more content released, so we can really play with options and make a really cool character. But today we are going to just focus on the main book, which is Monster Manual, and try to combine basic options to make some crazy character. So I hope you're gonna enjoy it, and let's dive into it.
So here we are on my computer. We are going to use this awesome website which allows you to just randomize your character until you find something really cool that you wanna play. So we are going to roll some dice and actually find something interesting, and after that we are starting on just building the character. Okay, so I found this really cool build, which is like old half-orc paladin from sheltered upbringing who is trying to avoid a prophecy. I mean, it's cool. You have like a loud half-orc, which basically means that you're going to be a really big target most of the time, and you're paladin, so you can really fight hard. And nice little background with that shelter upbringing and trying to avoid the prophecy. I think it's cool, and I would probably play this character on my own because it's a really nice one. So now we are going to start making this character step by step, so let's open character sheet. Well, here we are in editor, and we have digital character sheet, which I'm going to fill with the information about our character. And if you never played D&D, don't worry, I'm going to explain everything that we are going to make, and if you want I can make a separate video where I can basically dive deeper in mechanics of the game, but you know, the rules are just suggestions in these kind of games, so basically try to relax and don't worry if you don't understand every single detail, because nobody does. So the first thing we are going to do is actually choose a race. Race is basically a species, what you are. What are you? A human? Are you an orc or elf, dwarf, halfling, dragonborn, or any other D&D race? So by race you are determining your character by their look and actually gaining some proficiencies, which are basically what you're good at. Like if you're like elf, you're more like agile and really good with a bow, and if you're like dragonborn, you're resistant to some kind of acid, or I don't know, something like that. So first we are going to choose race, which is in our case a half orc. So we are going to choose races and choose half orc. So here we are on half orc. There are like many different things you can read about the orc. Now we are not going to read all of those because we are more interested in some details about race specifics. So I'm going to zoom in, and actually here I'm going to read something, and that is half orc traits. These are abilities and scores you're going to get by being an half orc. Okay, so I fill up this character sheet with orc traits. I name him Feng because it's a half orc name, I guess. We have basic speed, which is used in combat or initiative and basically allows you to move 30 feet in one move. Also, we have increased strength and constitution abilities by 2 and 1. Basically fill some information about his age, his height, and additional features and traits like dark vision, reckless endurance, and savage attacks, which are great for combat and exploration dark case. Next thing is to choose a class. The class is basically the most important thing of building the character. It defines your whole character and basically answer the question of what you are. Are you a druid? Are you a wizard? Are you a paladin? Are you a rogue or warlock or ranger or anything like that? There are more than 10 different classes you can choose from, and they're all great in their own ways. But we are going to use a paladin for this build, so let's scroll to the paladin class, and we can of course read all these little paragraphs about paladins and what you can expect by playing one, but we are interested in this. This is like a paladin table and what you unlock by each level, and after that class features and subclasses. So here we are with our updated paladin character. I gone through paladin class and add the basic features like divine smite, lay of hand, and many other things. Proficiencies for languages and tools, equipment. Here I added a few extra abilities and traits. So now this is the best part of creating a character, which is a subclass. Subclass is basically a path that your character is going to take within a class you choose. So there are many different subclasses you can choose from, but for this build we are going to use the Path of Vengeance, and with that a lot more abilities and different things can be added to this awesome build. Okay, so well, I worked this thing out and filled the rest of the character sheet with all different things and abilities that we got from our subclasses. So as you can see here, we can see different abilities like strength, dexterity, constitution, intelligence, wisdom, and charisma. Their job is to determine your character in every possible way. You can actually understand them by using a tomato example. So let me explain. If you use tomato to explain these abilities, you can start with strength, which is the ability to crush a tomato. Dexterity is ability to dodge a tomato thrown at you. Constitution would be an ability to eat a bad tomato and not to get ill. Intelligence is knowing that tomato is a fruit. Wisdom is knowing not to put tomato in fruit salad. And charisma is ability to sell a bad tomato to someone. So by them your character is defined, and these saving throws and skills are these abilities just in some specific ways. After that we have armor class, which is basically how big is your natural armor. Initiative, how quick you react in combat. Health, basically you all know what health means, how many hit points you have. And many different things. Like equipment, this is very cool. We have a longsword, shield, and a couple other basic tools and things that one adventurer would need at any time. At the end, we have a spell sheet. A spell sheet is a sheet when you can prepare and cast different spells. As Paladin, on 3rd level, you have 2 spell slots for the 1st level spell and 1 spell slot for 2nd level spell. And I prepared a few spells like Bless, Cure Wounds and Mighty Step. At the end, the last thing we need to do is actually to give a background to our character. The background is basically a story that follows your character and defines how did your character end up in the place of the adventure. So here it is. I added the noble background here and add a few things that a background actually gives to the character. So our character is basically completed by now, and all we need to do is just print it.
So here it is. After an hour and a half, which were a few minutes for you, I successfully created a fine D&D character ready to play in paper. I love paper. I prefer playing the paper because it's add to this adventure, and when you use a phone or some other screen, it takes more effort and take you away from adventure and the table. So I prefer using the paper, but you can use whatever you like. So this we have a main sheet with all those things we made along the way. We have a personality sheet. I didn't quite fill the background, the appearance of the character and all that, because I mean that's personal and I leave that up to you to choose and decide and think of something spectacular for your next adventure. And at the end we have spell sheet, which is, as we said, sheet for spells and spell attacks and spell difficulties. So I hope you enjoyed this one. Hope that D&D is something you're interested in, because I certainly am. And if you want some D&D content in the future, just drop a like, and I'll see you in the next adventure. Roll for the initiative.